Silence, all stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court now draw nigh. Give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Admission of lawyers. Shakur Hendrikus Abdullah.
May it please the court, I move that Shakur Hendrikus Abdullah be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Shakur Hendrikus Abdullah be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Maria Lucila Aguirre.
May it please the court, I move that Maria Lucila Aguirre be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Maria Lucila Aguirre be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Jacqueline Apana.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Jacqueline Apana be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Jacqueline Apana be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ali Sakanda Arif.
May it please the court, I move that Ali Sikandar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ali Sikandar Arif be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Helen Amota.
May it please the court, I move that Helen Armota be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Helen Armota be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Aisha Otali.
May it please the court, I move that my wife, Aisha Atali, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Aisha Atali be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Piolo von Enrique Bacani.
May it please the court, I move that Piolo von Enriquez Bacani be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Piolo von Enriquez Bacani be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Caitlin Kennedy Bellis.
May it please the court, I move that Caitlin Kennedy Bellis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Caitlin Kennedy Bellis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Megan Eliza Blackwood.
May it please the court, I move that Megan Eliza Blackwood be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Megan Eliza Blackwood be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Odette Kathleen Brotherson.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter Odette Kathleen Brotherson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Odette Kathleen Brotherson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Edith Charak.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter, Sarah Edith Charak, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah Edith Charak be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Xiang Yu Chen.
May it please the court, I move that Xiang Yu Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Xiang Yu Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Adam John Crowley.
May it please the court, I move that Adam John Crowley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Adam John Crowley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Anupa Dita.
May it please the court, I move that Anupa Detail be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Anupa Detail be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emil Bayan Fakan. Fahan.
May it please the court, I move that Emil Bayan Fahan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emil Bayan Fahan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Barry Lorne Friedman.
May it please the court, I move that Barry Lorne Friedman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Barry Lorne Friedman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jessica Sina Galea.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Sina Galea be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Sina Galea be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alcina Chan Yi Jiang.
May it please the court, I move that Alcina Chanyi Jiang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alcina Chanyi Jiang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hatham Georges.
May it please the court, I move that Hatham Georges be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hatham Georges be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sabrina Gadala.
May it please the court, I move that Sabrina Gordala be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sabrina Godala be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christina J. Hahn.
May it please the court, I move that Christina J. Hahn be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christina J. Hahn be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rebecca Elizabeth Hartshorn.
May it please the court, I move that Rebecca Elizabeth Hartshorn be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rebecca Elizabeth Hartshorn be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ella Mai Hyde.
May it please the court, I move that Ella Mai Hyde be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ella Mai Hyde be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Andrew Huff.
May it please the court, I move that Andrew Huff be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Andrew Huff be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mayor Jane Hughes.
May it please the court, I move that Mayor Jane Hughes be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mayor Jane Hughes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Aditi Jalandra.
May it please the court, I move that Aditi Jalandra be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Aditi Jalandra be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Zion Jeong.
May it please the court, I move that Zion Jeong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Zion Jeong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Heath Adam J. Jakarta.
May it please the court, I move that Heath Adam J. Jakarta be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Heath Adam J. Jakarta be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Cassandra Lee Kemsley.
May it please the court, I move that Cassandra Lee Kemsley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Cassandra Lee Kemsley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Stephanie Christina Lane.
May it please the court, I move that Stephanie Christina Lane be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Stephanie Christina Lane be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Manlock Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Manlock Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Manlock Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kedron Dan Ling Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Kedron Dan Ling Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kedron Dan Ling Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Zimeng Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Shimong Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Xingmeng Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Milan Fazana Madavi.
May it please the court, I move that Milan Farzana Madavi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Milan Farzana Madavi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lucy Regina Masters.
May it please the court, I move that Lucy Regina Masters be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lucy Regina Masters be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jemima Rose McLaughlin.
May it please the court, I move that Jemima Rose McLaughlin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jemima Rose McLaughlin be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nahid Muhammad.
May it please the court, I move that Nahid Mohammed be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nahid Mohammed be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jenny Pan.
May it please the court, I move that Jenny Pan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jenny Pan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alice Victoria Petch.
May it please the court, I move that Alice Victoria Petch be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alice Victoria Petch be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Maya Podinich.
May it please the court, I move that my sister Maya Podnich be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Maya Podinick be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Uma Maheswari Rajendran.
May it please the court, I move that Uma Maheswari Rajendran be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Uma Maheswari Rajendran be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Paneet Kaur Sandhu.
May it please the court, I move that Puneet Kaur Sandhu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Puneet Kaur Sandhu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christian Joseph Santos.
May it please the court, I move that Christian Joseph Santos be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christian Joseph Santos be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Phoebe Rose Saxon.
May it please the court, I move that Phoebe Rose Saxon be admitted as a
Let Phoebe Rose Saxon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Isabel Alice Scott.
May it please the court, I move that Isabel Alice Scott be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Isabel Alice Scott be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samantha Jane Shannon.
May it please the court, I move that Samantha Jane Shannon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samantha Jane Shannon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Keenan Elliott Smith.
May it please the court, I move that Keaton Elliott Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Keenan Elliott Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Caitlin Chong Hang Tao.
May it please the court, I move that Caitlin Chong Hang Tao be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Caitlin Chong Hang Tao be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tegan Andriana Tattersall.
May it please the court, I move that Tegan Andriana Tattersall be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tegan Andriana Tattersall be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lachlan Thomas Winning Williams.
May it please the court, I move that Lachlan Thomas Winning Williams be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lachlan Thomas Winning Williams be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jeffrey Chuk Fai Wong.
May it please the court, I move that Jeffrey Chuk Fai Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jeffrey Chuk Fai Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Will now be necessary for those applicants whose admission has just been moved to, as directed, stand and remain standing for the purposes of swearing an oath or making a declaration and affirmation. So please stand as directed by the officiating officer.
Could rows 1 and 2 on my right please stand? Shakur Hendrikus Abdullah. Maria Lucila Aguirre. Emily Jacqueline Apana. Ali Sikandar Arif. Helen Amota. Aisha Utali. Piolo von Enriquez Bacani. Caitlin Kennedy Bellis. Megan Eliza Blackwood. Odette Kathleen Brotherson. Sarah Edith Charak. Zhang Yu Chen. Adam John Crowley. Anupa Detail. Emil Bayan Fahan. Barry Lorne Friedman. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Please say, "So help me God," or "I do." Thank you. Please sit down. And could rows 3 and 4 on my right please stand? Jessica Sina Galea. Alcina Chan Yi Jiang. Hatham Georges. Sabrina Gadala. Christine Jae-hee Han. Rebecca Elizabeth Hartshorn. Ella Mai Hyde. Andrew Huff. Maya Jane Hughes. Aditi Jalandra. Zion Ji Yong. Heath Adam J. Jucada. Cassandra Lee Kemsley. Stephanie Christina Lane. Manlock Lee. Kedron Danling Lee. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down. And could the row in front of me please stand? Zimeng Lee. Milan Fazana Madavi. Lucy Regina Masters. Jemima Rose McLaughlin. Nahid Muhammad. Jenny Pan. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
I do.
Okay, please sit down. And the two rows to my left, please stand up. Alice Victoria Petch, Maya Podinich, Uma Mahaswari Rajendran, Paneet Kaur Sandhu, Christian Joseph Santos, Phoebe Rose Saxon, Isabel Alice Scott, Samantha Jane Shannon, Keenan Elliott Smith, Caitlin Chonghang Chow, Tegan Andriana Tattersaw, Lachlan Thomas Willing Williams, Jeffrey Chuk Phai Wong. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down.
Well, may I warmly welcome you all to the Banco Court of the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today is Justice Walton, to my immediate right, a judge of the Common Law Division, Justice Henry, to my left, who's a judge of the Equity Division, Justice Yahya, to Justice Walton's right, also a judge of the Common Law Division, to Justice Henry's left, Justice R.A. Hume, a judge of the Common Law Division. Together we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you, the newly admitted lawyers, to practice today. I also acknowledge on the bench the presence of Justice Sandra Duggan, a judge of the Land and Environment Court of New South Wales. We've admitted you, the newly admitted lawyers, in this, the Banco Court, as I've said, which rests on the land for which the Gadigal of the Eora Nation have cared and been custodians for thousands of years, and the court pays its sincere respects to elders past and present and extends those respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Well, to all the newly admitted lawyers, welcome to the legal profession today as one for celebration. And I'm also pleased to welcome those who are in court today with you or watching on the live stream. For many of you, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable in reaching this milestone. No doubt, they've also been on the receiving end of your finely polished or developing skills of argument and persuasion, and I encourage you to take the time to thank them today. Depending on how good an advocate you have become, you might even convince them to shout you lunch or a round of drinks later on today. We, sitting here on the bench, know how hard you've all worked to get here. It's a memory that never really leaves you. And for most of you, your journey has involved these last 3 extraordinarily challenging final years affected by the scourge of the pandemic. You've managed your legal studies and qualifications with this additional burden and adversity unprecedented in our lifetimes, and that makes your achievements recognised today all the more impressive. And I've no doubt that the resilience you will have developed will stand you well into the future. In being admitted as a lawyer of this court, you join an honourable and ancient profession with the custom of advocates swearing an oath on admission to practice dating back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers in 1824, almost 200 years ago, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto the rolls in this state, just as you will do immediately after this ceremony. And it is in acknowledgement of the weighty responsibility that you undertake that we observe today's unique formalities, including the fact that your admission has been moved by somebody who was already a member of the legal profession, and that you have made a formal oath or affirmation in the presence of your family and peers. They are all therefore witnesses to the promises and undertakings you have made today. The law touches every part of our society, and it can and will lead you all in many different directions and career paths. But in whatever direction you head, you must always remember that the oath or affirmation that you have just made is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, a Crown Law Office, a government department or agency, or in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice, and must strive at all times to uphold these cardinal values. Admission as a member of the legal profession is a privilege, it's not a right. Now, I referred earlier to tradition and formality, and you'll see from some of the portraits on the walls around this court that we on the bench are wearing the same robes, in some cases literally, as have been worn by our predecessors. Symbolically, that highlights the continuity of the rule of law in New South Wales, although the judges wearing the robes are now drawn from an increasingly diverse pool. As to continuity of the rule of law, in a world in which we know, sadly, there is much uncertainty and insecurity, the rule of law is more important than ever, and it's not simply a phrase of some theoretical import or academic interest. The rule of law is the opposite of the arbitrary abuse of power and the rule of autocratic dictators and populists. And we know, unfortunately, that there is nothing theoretical about those phenomena. Now, notwithstanding the formality and tradition attending this ceremony, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. The pandemic meant a rapid shift to increase use of virtual courtroom technology to ensure access to justice continued in the midst of a pandemic. And we are proud of what was able to be achieved, keeping the courts open throughout the pandemic. But we also salute those other professionals, particularly in the health and educational spheres, who did so much for our community during these past 3 years. But returning to the legal profession, the technological impetus brought about by the pandemic has also delivered greater workplace flexibility, which is especially important for lawyers with family responsibilities or caring responsibilities, and also those in regional and remote communities. It has had a profound impact and implications for how our legal system interacts with and has become more accessible to vastly more people. But although the increased use of technology offers a number of advantages, the practice of law has human nature and human interaction at its core. An essential part of being a good lawyer is understanding people and human nature, how others react to different situations, perform under pressure, and deal with each other. And as I said in my swearing-in speech as Chief Justice earlier this year, whilst the remote practice of the law may be possible, it is far from desirable. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention in addition to those brought about by the pandemic. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, there is a real duality. We've actually come a very long way, but much still needs to be done. For example, although women were originally not even permitted to practice in the colony of New South Wales and then the state of New South Wales, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practicing certificate in this state, and 2/3 of solicitors under the age of 30 are now female. Some of the most senior positions in the law in Australia are also held by distinguished female lawyers, including the current Chief Justices of the High Court, Victoria, Queensland and the ACT, as well as the President of the New South Wales Court of Appeal, Justice Ward, our colleague, as well, I might add, the State Director of Public Prosecutions, the Senior Public Defender and the Presidents of the Bar Association and the Law Society of New South Wales. There should also be strong representation of lawyers from the many different backgrounds which comprise our rich cosmopolitan community. Diverse representation amongst solicitors, advocates and judges assists in ensuring that all people who become involved in our justice system, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, can and feel that they can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. The admission ceremonies on which I have sat since becoming a judge almost 4 years ago, including this ceremony, highlights that there is a far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than when I commenced practice. And that's a very good thing. And leaders of the profession and the courts are working hard to foster inclusiveness and diversity. That in turn, as I've indicated, builds trust in and respect for both the judiciary and the legal profession, all reinforcing the importance of and respect for the rule of law. You, the newly admitted lawyers, entered the profession at a time when, more than ever, your words and actions are having an impact for good. And shortly I'll invite two young lawyers who were in your shoes not so very long ago to say a few words of welcome in addition to my own. But a little bit more advice first. As a lawyer, you'll often need to make difficult ethical decisions. You must use the tools you have developed over these years of study to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and to the administration of justice. One mistake which you must strive not to make is to give your clients the advice you think they want to hear. I can tell you now that that will not be good advice. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, and I quote, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same question for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur." Unsurprisingly, coming from Justice Gageler, that is very good advice indeed. Now, being a lawyer means that you are an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum, but the law as it applies to people's lives. An individual in need of your services as a lawyer will frequently be an individual facing some kind of great personal challenge or crisis affecting his or her liberty, property, personal well-being, or health or financial position. For these reasons, you must always strive to deliver legal services sensitively, competently and fearlessly, yes, but always with courtesy and integrity. And in that context, I always like to emphasise the importance of what some call an old-fashioned, but I call a critical concept of civility. Aspects of the law, especially if you're involved in the litigation side of practice, are confrontational. The practice of the law can be stressful and demanding enough, though, without personal animus and antagonism between practitioners adding to the load, as it regrettably sometimes does. It's essential that you maintain your detachment, balance, and good humour, remembering at all times that you're members of a profession and not a business. And remember this, the best advocates can and do make their points simply and succinctly. Often, less is more. Now, some of the most experienced lawyers and judges, from whom I do not exclude myself, could use that helpful reminder from time to time. But for a non-lawyer rather, law is often incomprehensible. And one of your roles as a lawyer will be to make the law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, or more often than not, organising the facts and explaining them in the applicable legal framework. Strive to be clear and concise at all times in both your writing and your speaking. At various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. We have all made mistakes from time to time, especially when we're starting something new. What is important is you try not to make the same mistake twice, and if you do make a mistake, that your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means you take responsibility and ownership for it, correct what you can, and learn from the mistake. In the practice of the law, it's also important to emphasise how important your physical and mental health are. There may, and I dare say will be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. Legal practice can be all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. Now, as I often say, that is frequently because good lawyers strive very hard for their clients. They spend the extra couple of hours trying to make sure they've got everything in order, or that they understand everything, or have identified the right authorities or principles. Now, that's all honourable and admirable, but it can make the practice of the law, as I say, all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. You must work hard to keep your balance and keep your eye out to ensure that your colleagues do as well. So if you do get overwhelmed by it all, as frankly we all have and still do from time to time, try to take a step back and recapture some perspective, or suggest gently to your colleagues who you think might need to pause that they think about doing so. You should also remember, though, that the law is a highly collegiate profession. And in that context, let me now call upon young representatives of the New South Wales Bar Association and the Law Society of New South Wales to say a few words. Mr. Chen, do you move?
May it please the court. My name is Eugene Chan, and I've been practicing for about 2 years at the bar, predominantly in tax and general commercial litigation. On behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you all to the legal profession. The legal profession is an old profession based on precedent and a rule of law, while also being a profession that grows and develops to adapt to new practices and technology, and most importantly, to society's values as they change over time. For several decades now, the composition of lawyers and barristers in New South Wales has changed to better reflect the community. The bar today is a welcoming place for people of all genders and backgrounds, and you're welcome either straight away or after some time as a solicitor to apply to come to the bar. It's an honour to be a lawyer, and in my case a barrister, and I'm very proud to be a member of the legal profession. I enjoy the intellectual challenge of my job, and it allows me to give expert advice to represent expert advice to and represent people in court, and to contribute to society in a meaningful way. If you're interested in coming to the bar, you can contact the New South Wales Bar Association or have a look on its website on the steps to take. Each year there is a career at the bar open day, with the next one I understand in October of next year. To become a barrister, you must pass the bar exams and satisfactorily complete the bar practice course and reading requirements in your first 2 years at the bar. In terms of the support available, in your first year as a reader, you have 2 tutors who are barristers of at least 7 years seniority. The tutors meet with you weekly, review your work, and teach you practical skills, whether by appearing with them in court or otherwise. The bar is also renowned for its collegiality, especially in chambers, so you're not isolated or alone. The New South Wales Bar Association is a professional body that supports barristers, and it has several committees, including, for example, first, a new barristers committee, which organises social and educational functions for 0 to 5 year barristers like me. Secondly, a wellbeing committee, which runs seminars on health and wellbeing, promoting balance between work and the other parts of your life. And thirdly, a diversity and equality committee, of which I'm a member, that promotes one of the key strategic goals of the New South Wales Bar Association. That is, to attract the best people to become barristers, regardless of their race, religion, gender, parental status, or sexual preference. Whether as a lawyer or barrister, I encourage you to get involved with the Law Society or Bar Association and to use your skills to assist your community. It's a rewarding experience to practice in connection with others in your profession. Once again, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession and congratulate you on your admission today as a lawyer of this honourable court. May it please the court.
Thank you, Mr. Chan. Ms. Irvine for the Law Society of New South Wales. You move.
May it please the court. My name is Olivia Irvin. I'm the Vice President of New South Wales Young Lawyers, and not so long ago, I stood where you stand today. Figuratively, that is. I was actually admitted during a lockdown, so my ceremony was a virtual experience. But wherever you are admitted, it is truly a momentous and memorable occasion. You are here being admitted to the Supreme Court role as the final step on your years-long, diligent, and sometimes arduous journey. I hope each of you is immensely proud of what you have achieved. When I embarked on my career as a solicitor, I had no real idea of what to expect. It was not always easy, and it was often overwhelming. I stand here today after 1.5 years as a lawyer with Hazelbrook Legal, and I am very happy to report that I have learned and grown so much more in my time since admission than I ever imagined back in 2020. One of the most important things I have learned is the value of belonging to a profession. The legal profession is an increasingly large and diverse community, one to which each of you now belongs as well. The Law Society of New South Wales is a home to that community, with our 30,000 members all across the state of New South Wales. We are bound by our shared duties, our commitment to continuous learning, our desire to connect, and to give back to our communities and uphold the rule of law. As an early career lawyer, I have found that belonging to a strong network of peers is crucial. That is why I have been part of the Law Society's New South Wales Young Lawyers branch for 4 years. Here I have found inspiration, guidance when I needed it, as well as opportunities for advocacy in which we made significant, impactful change on considerable legal issues. By joining the Law Society of New South Wales, you can access professional support, events, a wide range of publications, professional development opportunities, mentoring, volunteer opportunities, and connection to the broader legal community. It is part of our role at the Law Society to ensure that you, as newly minted solicitors, can each thrive in your new profession. So again, congratulations to you all. Reach out to us or speak to your employer. We look forward to welcoming you into the Law Society community. May it please the court.
Thank you, Ms. Irvin. Well, can I say this to you all in closing? The law is a wonderful profession. It's stimulating, it's challenging, and it's satisfying, and it is populated by intelligent, committed, and dynamic people such as yourselves. You should be proud to have become a lawyer and of your achievements to date, and you should remain proud to be a lawyer. It is a very important profession, the legal profession, and you are now a very important part of it. So hold your heads high and the very best of luck on the exciting journey that lies ahead. On behalf of my colleagues here on the bench and indeed all of our colleagues on the Supreme Court, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned.
Congratulations, everyone, once again. Yes, if you could make your